What's good, y'all? This is Manda, and I'm back with another video. I know it's been a while, but I did say I would be back eventually. I haven't posted in forever, and some of you may have noticed that all my videos are gone, but a short while ago, I did let you guys know that once I finish my Marvel movie marathon, I would go back to posting twice a week. I'm basically almost done, and once I finish up a few more comic series that I want to get through, I'll start posting like twice a week starting in the beginning of October. I did promise a few certain Marvel and DC comic videos, and I'm getting ready to start making them soon though. All that aside, let's get to the actual video. I didn't plan on making a review for this, but I also didn't expect to like the show as much as I did. Let's talk about Star Wars Visions. Visions is the first Star Wars anime ever created and hopefully not the last. It's a collection of 9 short films from different animation studios. Each have different stories set in different time periods with different characters. For now, none of the episodes are canon, but there are certain ones that actually could be. I'll talk about those later. Let's get to the show without spoilers first. Now, I wasn't sure what to expect when I saw the trailer. Sure, it looked awesome, but the story arguably matters more. I am happy to say that for a lot of these episodes, the story wasn't disappointing. Even some of the weaker episodes were at least fun to watch. Yes, there were parts where I got bored or lost a little interest, but that didn't last long, mainly because of how short the episodes are. There aren't long stretches of time where you want to fall asleep because everything is 15 to 20 minutes and the climax of the episodes come kinda quick. Another thing I loved about the show was how different it was. All of the Star Wars movies and shows have taken place generally around the same time period with characters and places that are connected. This show had almost no connections to the main time period or characters of Star Wars, and I can get behind that. The galaxy is humongous, and since Star Wars takes place long ago, you can stretch out the universe for thousands of years. One issue I always had was how small Star Wars always seemed in such a massive universe they had to work with. Visions did an amazing job expanding it. If you came here questioning whether you should watch it or not, please don't question anymore and just check it out. Even if you never liked anime before, each episode is so unique and different that it's impossible to not find at least one that you like. This is where I start spoiling stuff, so if you haven't seen the show, scram and come back later. The first episode was the story of a wandering Force user named Ronin, who was one of the most interesting characters in the show. He was pretty clear about the fact that he wasn't a Jedi, and he even had a red lightsaber. There's a novel coming out about him next month, and I'm happy about that because I'm very curious about the crystals he has in his robes. They've clearly been taken from Sith, which probably means he's been hunting them down. His story will definitely be a good one to read. The actual duel this episode was awesome, probably the second best fight in the show for me. From the moment Ronin stopped the Sith's blade with the Force, I knew it was going to be a masterpiece. The second episode was definitely one of the weaker ones. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't give a single fuck about the kid in his rock band. The best part of this episode was Boba Fett, and he wasn't even in it that much. I also wasn't a fan of the animation this episode. It was sort of fun, I guess, but you'd never catch me rewatching it. Episode 3 is easily the most popular of the show, and it's easy to see why. The story of 2 twins created through the dark side. Carrie cared enough about his sister to put aside his purpose and try to break free, but Am was dedicated to the cause she was created for. It leads to an incredible clash that was one of the coolest looking things in the whole show. I wouldn't mind seeing more of them in the future. The 4th episode was alright. I actually enjoyed it, even though I could tell every single thing that was going to happen in it by the time I was less than halfway through. It was very predictable, but still enjoyable to watch, especially the ending. Episode 5 was easily my favorite of the entire show. If we don't get some kind of extension for this story, whether it's a movie, show, or comic, I'm finding Disney headquarters and I'm holding everybody hostage till they come up with something. The premise is absolutely perfect. A galaxy with no more Jedi, riddled with war and hardships. The Sith and Jedi are both in hiding. Neither are able to tell which is which. The possibilities are endless. You can tell the story of Jedi hunters looking to erase them once and for all. You can tell the story of the Margrave trying to restore the Order. You can tell tales of the political efforts to end the war and how the quest for Jedi tie into it. This is one of the episodes that I believe can easily be canon. It takes place hundreds of years in the future. The only other canon Star Wars media that is set far away from the main Star Wars setting is the High Republic, which honestly isn't nearly as interesting as this episode of Visions was. Throughout the 20 minutes or so, you could feel that something was wrong, but you weren't sure what it was. At first, I thought that Margrave would be a Sith, but then the huge twist came with the so-called Jedi turning out to be Sith acolytes. It genuinely caught me off guard. The battle afterwards was cool as well. One of the characters that really interested me was Homan. He seems to be someone who flips to the dark side with dangerous ease. If this episode is explored further in future projects, he's someone who could possibly cause trouble. The 6th episode was easily the weakest in my opinion. I didn't really care about the droid at all, and I thought him beating the Sith in combat was kinda stupid. It was only 13 minutes, which made it easier to bear, but I'll most likely never watch this episode again. Episode 7 was another one of my favorites. Tajin and Dan give me Qui-Gon and Anakin vibes. Dan is hot-headed and eager to fight, something that got him gravely injured, just like Anakin against Dooku in Attack of the Clones. Qui-Gon is the wise and older master. He proved that with his words at the end of the episode. Episode 8 was one that I didn't really expect to like at the start, but it turned into one of my favorites. Ocho's betrayal of Lop and the family hit kinda hard, even though we barely knew these characters. When Ocho said Lop wasn't even part of the family, that cut like a knife. I found it kinda weird how quickly Ocho became a piece of shit, but I guess with 15 to 20 minute episodes, it's hard to develop things like that well. The dynamic between these two is something that I feel like this episode left open-ended on purpose so that the story could be continued in the future. In fact, there's a few episodes that I feel like have been left open-ended on purpose so there's a chance to continue the stories at some point. I'd definitely watch another show about episodes 1, 3, 5, 7, and 8. The final episode was pretty great. Tsubaki is obviously supposed to be like Anakin. He is a very compelling character, and although his turn to the dark side was extremely quick, it can be explored further with deeper looks into his past. I definitely want more of him, and his romance with Misa could be developed more as well. Either way, we all know Anakin's Force Ghost was feeling some type of way when he saw this episode. Tsubaki actually got a Sith master that could keep his promises. In my opinion, I think they should take these stories that they've started with this show and expand them into various forms of media. Maybe incorporate some of them into canon. The idea of a non-canon show that can create canon stories based on how fans react to it is cool as fuck. Visions is a great start to the next set of Star Wars TV shows coming out. Obviously, the show wasn't perfect. The Twins episode had some cringe dialogue, a couple episodes were relatively uninteresting, and some of the animation styles aren't as good as others in my opinion, but the positives of this show greatly outweigh the negatives. It was unique, fun, mostly interesting, it had great duels, and a lot of fantastic animation along with some new characters that immediately captured my attention. What else could you possibly ask for from this show? If you didn't enjoy it, that's your opinion, but I have heard a lot of people saying they don't watch just because it's anime. Kinda stupid to be honest, but hey, they're the ones missing out. My final rating for Star Wars Visions is an 8.5 out of 10. Thanks for watching, I hope you liked the video, and I really hope you like Visions because I for sure did. Leave a like and subscribe and all that stuff. Like I said before, I'll be posting twice a week again soon. For now, see you next time.